Welcome back, friends. I hope you're all doing well. Today, I have one question for you. Is Foodie Beauty addicted to chaos? Most people avoid drama. Understandably, they crave peace, routine, and predictability. Foodie Beauty is not like most people. Whenever things in her life start settling down, it's like a switch flips and something happens. A fight with Salah, a public rant, a meltdown on her community tab. It's so consistent, it almost seems intentional. Some people are addicted to food, some to attention, others to substances. Let's look at chaos addiction, what it means for Chantal, and how it can show up in everyday life. Chaos addiction isn't something you'll find in a medical textbook. It's not a formal diagnosis, but that doesn't mean it's not real. Psychologists and trauma experts talk about it as a behavioral pattern, one that often develops in people who have grown up in unstable environments, like Chantal. And people like this will seek out drama, conflict, or any real high stress situation, often because it gives them a sense of control, a sense of excitement, or even emotional intensity. People who are addicted to chaos thrive in turmoil and they get bored with calm situations or environments. These people might consciously or unconsciously create a crisis or an issue out of thin air. Sound familiar? To Chantal, chaos feels normal. It feels predictable. Peace and quiet, on the other hand, that feels weird to her. It feels unsettling, almost threatening. So when life gets calm, Chantal starts feeling restless and anxious. Boredom also plays a big part in chaos addiction. And without even realizing it, she'll stir the pot. She'll pick a fight with someone. She'll sabotage something that was going well for once. All of that to feel that old familiar rush again. So why are some people addicted to chaos? Simply put, the emotional roller coaster of chaos mimics the effects of a drug. The brain begins to crave the adrenaline or emotional intensity that goes hand in hand with conflict. Growing up in chaotic environments where instability was the norm can normalize drama as real life. Creating or escalating chaos the way Chantal allows herself to get gassed up in the way she does, it gives her a sense of influence over unpredictable situations. She feels like she has the control, which is all she ever really wants. Being involved in situations where drama is rampant can make someone like Foodie feel more important than she actually is. This negative attention spikes the dopamine in her brain, and her cortisol levels will also spike from that stress. So it becomes this cycle. The highs and lows make her feel alive. A sense of calm, where her adrenaline and the dopamine and the cortisol levels return to a more stabilized level, that makes her feel restless. She gets bored, and she just feels dead inside. Now, let's look at how this plays out in her actual life. You don't have to be a long-time viewer to notice the pattern. Even casual observers can see it. She'll say she's done with drama and that this is the last time she will ever address XYZ. Then a day goes by, maybe 2 or 3, but that peace never lasts for long. Suddenly, she's frantically posting on her community tab and then deleting after the damage has already been done. Or she's firing up a live stream, nostrils flared, filtered to within an inch of her life. And before you know it, she's right back in the center of the chaos. And this isn't some odd, random behavior. This isn't new either. She's shown us this hundreds of times over the years, and suddenly, dun, 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 a pattern emerges. She's changed countries to escape her past. She's deleted old videos, God knows, and old live streams, only to make new, even cringier ones the next day. She's converted religions, switched partners, changed her content, all in the name of some fresh new beginning, some new journey. But no matter where she goes or who she's with, the chaos always seems to find her. Do you ever wonder why? Ultimately, it comes from her. Chantal is chaos. That's why it doesn't matter what country she hoists herself onto this time. The problems are internal. Let's break this cycle down for a second because it's not random. It's almost scripted at this point. So first we have the calm phase. She says she's over the drama. She wants to grow. She wants to heal. She wants to focus on positivity. Her streams are quieter, more boring. We know what that's like. She's doing quote unquote better. Then there's the trigger. This is usually something pretty small, pretty minor. Maybe a comment. Maybe someone mentions a reaction channel. Or maybe she's just bored. Sometimes it's nothing anyone can see. And then comes the explosion. She lashes out. Live streams full of rage. Name calling, rants, emotional spirals. Sometimes she drags other people in. Sometimes she'll drag Salah in. God help the guy if he's within earshot. And if you're in her chat, that's almost as dangerous as Syria is right now. And then you have the victim phase. So once the backlash actually hits her, she claims that she's being bullied. She starts gaslighting, telling well-known and well-established tales slightly off-kilter, so she comes off looking like the perpetual victim. In the past, she loved to threaten to leave the internet forever, just for the sympathy and ass pats. Remember the good old days? I do, fondly. And then comes the reset. She wipes the slate clean. She deletes the community tab posts. Maybe she'll start a new diet arc. Some new promise, a new goal, maybe a new visitation destination, a newer, better version of herself. And then the whole cycle starts all over again. So why does she keep doing this? Why keep repeating the same exact pattern, even when it clearly makes her life harder? Because chaos gives her something. Several things, actually. Number one, let's be honest, it gives her attention. Her most viewed content is always the messiest. People don't tune in when she's calm and boring. They come for the drama. When she rages, she trends. It's the nature of the beast, and she has come to learn that very valuable lesson over time. And then there's control. Chaos lets her control the narrative. When she's the one stirring it up, she decides the storyline. She gets to be the victim. She has the power to gaslight her audience because she's the only one who actually has a voice. Everyone else is just subject to her whims. And then there's the excitement. Conflict is thrilling. It gives her a sense of purpose, something to talk about, something to actually feel. She has eaten herself into such a drowsy stupor that negative attention becomes positive attention in her mind. After all, people are talking about her, right? Most importantly, it's a distraction. It keeps the deeper issues out of focus. And let's face it, she's got a lot of issues. Her health, her finances, her relationships. If everyone's busy watching the chaos that she's created, they're not asking the harder questions, and neither is she. As the ultimate ostrich who loves to stick her fat peanut into the sand to avoid any real-world problems, being focused on something minor like an internet squabble is much easier to manage and cope with than her uncontrolled type 2 diabetes. In a way, chaos becomes her coping mechanism. It's not just a habit, it's a survival strategy. But like any addiction, it comes at a cost. In this particular case, it comes at a very high cost indeed. Relationships suffer, partners burn out, and family and friends distance themselves. Even longtime supporters walk away. We've seen that firsthand with the slow, agonizing death of her YouTube career. We all see how thin Salah's patience is with her. No longer are these two under the pretense that there's any love or romantic feelings between them. He is super quick to throw her under the bus, and she's right there, ready to throw it right back at him. We have seen this behavior ramp up so much more than ever before, starting with her self-deporting from Kuwait and now in Syria. The audience changes. People stop watching for entertainment and start watching it like it's a train wreck. She becomes content, not a creator. And although she's been a train wreck for years, and one could even point out that the cheese graveyard was the nail in the proverbial coffin, haha, her audience has lost any of the actual support that she once actually had. The only few warm bodies left are her sycophants and the trolls. And not even funny trolls at this point. They left this shit show ages ago. And finally, her reputation tanks. Every new arc is met with even more skepticism. People stop believing when she says she's sorry and she'll never do it again. She rebrands herself. Maybe the promises change a little bit. And again, although this happened years ago with her being the ruination of her own reputation, it feels even more pointed now because, and I don't know if you guys could sense this too, but it kind of feels like the end is near. And behind the scenes, the damage is probably even worse. Living in a constant state of crisis really wears down your body and your mind. Your trust in others gets diminished. Your ability to grow and change disappears. Whatever relationship she has now with Salah is in tatters. We all see it. Even they see it, although she will never admit it on camera. What feels like control in the moment is actually self-sabotage in disguise. And she has learned to master self-sabotage better than anybody I know. And then the audience plays a part. Now, here's something a lot of people don't talk about. How the audience plays a part in all of this too. Every time we click into this chaos, whether we're reacting to her raging or looking at all the drama on Twitter, we're feeding the cycle. For some of us, we know the boundaries. For Foodie, there are no boundaries. And not to say she's not responsible. She absolutely is responsible for everything. But the outrage, the views, and the attention, that is all part of the reward system for her. It reinforces the idea that chaos is success. Chaos equals success in her mind. So even if she says she hates the backlash, and even if she deletes her rage stream for the 10th time in a row, there's always that pull to come back to chaos because chaos still works in her mind. It brings in the views, which brings in the cash, which allows her to live another day, and on and on. This is yet another reason she should seek professional help and log off for a while, but I digress. So is it even possible to break this pattern? Of course it's possible, but it's not going to be easy. It would take actual, real self-reflection and tons of therapy. Also, probably a very long break from the internet. She'd need to sit in the discomfort of what peace actually is long enough to realize it won't kill her. To see that growth doesn't come from spectacle, it comes from stillness. But that kind of change is terrifying for her, especially when chaos has been in your comfort zone for years and years. Until she's ready to face that, no amount of dieting, new country, or traveling is going to fix anything. And we all know she will never seek professional help because that would mean confronting herself head on, and she just cannot handle it. And here is the crux of it all. From the outside, it might look like she's just a sloppy person living some messy life in some random Middle Eastern country. But if you look deeper into the story, what we're really watching is someone stuck in a self-destructive, never-ending loop. She's desperate for connection, for control, any kind of meaning in life, but she sabotages it herself every single time. She wants to be peaceful. She just doesn't know how to live inside of it. So she blows it all up over and over again because it's what she knows. And Chantal is nothing if not a creature of habit and comfort. God forbid she ever be forced to do something that doesn't bring her instant gratification. So, in my opinion, between me and you, Foodie Beauty doesn't just stumble into chaos. She creates it. Not because she's evil, although a strong case can be made for that. and not because she's trying to hurt people. She'll never be able to hurt anyone as much as she hurts herself. And again, it is in my humble opinion that this woman will never know love because she is incapable of it. And because on some level, chaos feels like home to her, a home for someone who is lost, and nobody is more lost than Foodie Beauty. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Let me know what you think of Chantal and her chaos addiction in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.